Did Moses have a second wife? The tale of Moses' second wife is a mysterious one that historians and biblical scholars have tried to understand for centuries. Numerous commentators have examined the biblical text that narrates the story of the Cushite woman. While some mention it was Zipporah, Moses' more famous wife, whom we will discuss in another chapter. Others allude to a different woman. In this video, we'll delve into this alternate interpretation. This story unfolds in the book of Numbers in chapter 12, during a conversation between Miriam and Aaron. They are rebuking Moses because he is married to a Cushite wife. Miriam and Aaron began to talk against Moses because of his Cushite wife, for he had married a Cushite. Numbers 12:1. According to the biblical story in the book of Exodus, Moses fled to Midian and married a woman named Zipporah. However, there is no mention of a Cushite woman. So, where did this Cushite woman suddenly come from? The Cushite woman's story is shrouded in mystery, and its interpretation takes us back to Moses' youth before he escaped from Pharaoh's house. The initial connection with the Cushite people occurred during Moses' time in the Egyptian palace. When he was young, Moses was sent by Pharaoh on a mission to the land of Cush. Moses was tasked with leading the Egyptian armies in a war in Cush, which is now known as Ethiopia. Leading his Egyptian troops, Moses advanced towards the fortified capital city of Sheba. However, upon reaching Sheba, Moses encountered a significant challenge. The city was encircled by walls and situated on an island surrounded by the Nile River, making it inaccessible to the Egyptians. The situation might have forced the Egyptians to withdraw if not for an act of treachery on the Ethiopian side. The daughter of the king of Ethiopia, Tirbas, observed Moses from above the city's walls and fell deeply in love with him. She dispatched one of her servants to make an offer. Sheba would surrender to Moses on the condition that he marry the Ethiopian princess. Moses accepted the proposal, and it was carried out. The city was handed over to Moses without a fight, and he returned to Egypt with an Ethiopian wife. This tradition is what connects Moses to a marriage with a Cushite woman, as mentioned in the book of Numbers. This interpretation was provided by the Jewish Greek historian Artapanus of Alexandria in the 2nd century BC. Another important interpretation in Jewish tradition suggests that Moses did not choose to marry the Cushite woman, rather, the Cushite people brought her to him. The story begins when Pharaoh sought to kill Moses, prompting him to escape to the land of the Cush. Then the Cushites forced Moses to marry their queen. However, this interpretation has some complexities. If Moses initially sought refuge in the land of Cush and married the Cushite queen there, why isn't the Cushite woman mentioned in the events that followed, like his journey to Midian? We'll delve into this shortly. Another interpretation suggests that the Cushite woman might be someone else whom Moses married while Zipporah, his wife, was staying with her father Jethro. This marriage might have occurred before her return to Moses, as described in Exodus chapter 18. The complaints from Miriam and Aaron about Moses marrying the Cushite woman are only mentioned during their journey in the desert, just before arriving in the desert of Paran, and the story of the 12 spies. This is despite Moses marrying the Midianite woman before their exodus from Egypt. Therefore, it is very possible that Moses married a Cushite woman during their journey in the desert. The Cushite people once ruled the Babylonian Empire for about 400 years, from around 1200 to 1600 BC, which includes the time of the Exodus from Egypt. It's known that black Cushites' messengers often journeyed to Egypt, and marriages between Egyptian and black royalty were common. Therefore, it is plausible that Moses married a Cushite woman as part of such a partnership. Miriam and Aaron's anger may not have been due to Moses having a second wife, as many other Israelites, such as Jacob, Abraham, Solomon, and David, had multiple wives. Instead, their concern may have stemmed from Moses marrying outside his ethnic group. It's important to note that Cush was the eldest son of Ham, who, according to the Bible, was cursed by his father Noah to be a slave among his brothers. He said, "Cursed be Canaan. The lowest of slaves will he be to his brothers." Genesis 9 verse 25. At the very start of their talk, God becomes upset by what Miriam and Aaron are saying. The anger of the Lord burned against them, and he left them. Numbers 12:9. It appears that Miriam's unkind words about Moses' wife resulted in her contracting leprosy. Miriam, who criticized Moses for marrying someone foreign, inflicted this ailment upon herself by harming her skin. This suggests that Moses' wife had a different skin color. Therefore, Miriam faces punishment for speaking negatively about Moses' wife. When the cloud lifted from above the tent, Miriam's skin was leprous, it became as white as snow. Aaron turned toward her and saw that she had a defiling skin disease. Numbers 12:10. From this it can be understood that the color of Miriam's skin is white by saying white as snow. This hints at the Cushite woman having a darker skin tone, though it's not directly stated. Cush and its people are often described as warriors and wealthy, and these descriptions are generally positive or neutral. In most references to Cush and its people, they are not portrayed negatively. The only Bible passage that explicitly connects the descendants of Cush with their skin color is the verse in Jeremiah. It's referring to the Ethiopians, who are descendants of Cush. Can an Ethiopian change his skin or a leopard its spots? Neither can you do good who are accustomed to doing evil. Jeremiah 13 verse 23. The title Cushite is linked to the region of Cush in Africa, suggesting that Moses had a second wife, who was of African descent with dark skin. However, this tradition is not accepted by the Bible because it portrays Moses as marrying a woman from the lineage of Ham, who was Noah's cursed son. The Bible doesn't provide an explicit statement of whether Moses had two wives. In fact, there's a passage that suggests Moses had only one wife until he went back to Egypt to instruct Pharaoh to release the Israelites. So Moses took his wife and sons, put them on a donkey and started back to Egypt. Exodus 4 verse 20. In the story of the Exodus, it's mentioned that Moses had just one wife and sons. We might think that the Cushite wife could have passed away at some point, leaving Moses with only one wife, Zipporah. So, what can we understand from the mention of a Cushite woman in the Bible? Looking at Moses' marriages can give us valuable insights into how God worked in the background throughout the Bible. In the Bible, there are women who aren't from the people of Israel, but God still protected them. For example, Rahab and Ruth. Rahab was a harlot who hid Israel's spies. In return, God made a promise to protect her and her family. Ruth was from Moab, and her Israeli husband passed away, as did her mother-in-law. Naomi became widowed. Ruth pledged to take care of Naomi and go wherever she went. When they moved to Israel, Ruth met her second husband, Boaz, all because of her loyalty to Naomi. This helps us understand why God was upset with Aaron and Miriam for criticizing Moses' marriage to someone from a different race. Although God warned the Israelites not to marry the Canaanites and to keep Canaanite idols from entering Israel, he never outright banned interracial marriage in the Bible. Even when his rules were broken, God found ways to bring about something surprising and redemptive. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. You can share with us what you know by leaving a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. Thank you so much and see you next time.